Shalom, shalom, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the next edition of Reading with Shilo. Welcome back. I hope all y'all doing good. It's cold out there. Ooh, it's cold out there. But we're going to go ahead and try to push through the sniffles and the cold for the last part of the book. Part 2 of chapter 5, the last part of the Valley of the Dry Bones. We'll be finished. We'll be finished with the book today. And then on to the next one. On to the next one. So we're gonna try to finish strong and see what we can learn and grow from Mr. Rudolphf R. Windsor in the Valley of the Dry Bones, chapter 5, part 2. Part 2. Man. All the new subscribers, welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Come on in. So, man, I've been sneezing all morning. But we're going to go ahead and still try to push through. All right, let's get started. Let's get started. Quicker we get started, quicker we get done. Whew. Oh, man. Man, I hope this don't be the whole time, man. I really don't. But we're going to see. The Valley of the Dry Bones, chapter 5, part 1. The nature of the Russian armed forces. The nature of the Russian armed forces. The king of the north will come against him like a whirlwind. The king of the north will come against him like a whirlwind. Daniel, the man of God, conveys to us the point that the Russians will be vigorously decisive in their aggression. Man, I'm already reading bad, I can tell. Man, my bad. The king of the north will come against him like a whirlwind. Daniel, the man of God, conveys to us the point that the Russians will be vigorously decisive in their aggression. That is, they will not hesitate, for they come like a whirlwind with armored divisions and with a mighty naval fleet. At this time, let me explore the character and potential of the Russian armed forces, especially their naval power. First of all, the United States of America is no longer the first-rate power in the world, but Russia is. The Russians know this very well. This is the main reason they will not hesitate. Remember the invasion of Afghanistan. The Chief of Staff of the United States Army, Edward C. Meyer, said in short that the American military compatibility comparable to Russia is a sad saga. A sad saga. Military and other specialists believe that the ultimate aim of the Russians is to sever the sea lanes by which the Western world transports important minerals. Man, I can believe it. The Soviet Union has no overseas territory or military bases that must be supplied by her navy. However, in certain parts of the third world, some might be under construction. Because she does not rely on foreign imports, she has no necessity to fear a sea blockade. Moreover, the USSR is virtually unsusceptible to invasion by her coastline because her beaches are either too difficult to assault or too far away from any vital military goal. Nevertheless, Soviets possessed in excess of 2,025 vessels in her fleet. This is about 4 times greater than the United States. Russia has more destroyers, cruisers, submarines than the United States. Russia has more destroyers, cruisers, and submarines than the United States. I don't know if that's still true. I don't know if that's still true. I was watching something the other day, a while back, and they were showing the how many ships and within the Navy fleet, how many helicopters and airplanes that who had the greatest amount. So I don't remember Russia being number one, but I could be wrong. Nevertheless, Soviets possess in excess of 2,025 vessels in their fleet. This is about 4 times greater than the United States possesses. Russia has more destroyers, cruisers, and submarines than the United States. Russian vessels at this time are much more heavily armored and generally faster, and the Russians use a larger quantity of short-range missiles in their assault ships. Listen to this so-called secret report, as revealed on the Phil Donahue show in April of 1981 by Congressman Clarence Long, a Democratic from Maryland. He said, "The United States is behind the Russians in every category, and this includes quantity and quality. The Russians control the land, the air, and the sea." Ooh, man. Daniel saw the Russian military forces moving toward the land of Israel and toward other Muslim countries in many ships. And this northern power has the mightiest navy in the world today. It is crystal clear that Daniel foresaw that Russia possesses the greatest danger to the Muslim countries, and this danger is not the state of Israel. He shall enter also into the glorious land, and many countries shall be overthrown. But these shall escape out of his hand, even Edom and Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. Daniel chapter 11, verse 41. And in the latter part of the 14th verse, Daniel said that Russia would enter into the countries and shall overflow and pass over. With the invasion of the Muslim country of Afghanistan, the first stage of this process has already begun. Make no mistake about it. We are now living in the time period of Armageddon, and the process will move from stage to stage until the main event ends with the worldwide Holocaust. Again, Daniel tells us that the Soviet Union will enter also into the glorious land, the 41st verse. The glorious land is the land of Israel. I had mentioned earlier to you that the prophet Ezekiel said that the Creator God would bring this northern power, Russia, against the land of Israel. According to Ezekiel, the Russians will come to the land of Israel to spoil and rob the country of its wealth. Right now, a country without oil fields, Israel, with a population of under 4 million, has a gross national product of 16 billion compared to Jordan, a country with about the same population, with only a gross national product of 2 billion. Furthermore, Israel's discovery of potash, a potent fertilizer in the Dead Sea, are of significant worth trillions of dollars. That is a lot of wealth for a small country. Many countries shall be overthrown. Daniel here is referring to various Muslim countries that surround the state of Israel. Some will be conquered. Others will be forced to submit to Russia's communist domination. According to Daniel, in the 41st verse, the countries that will escape the harsh treatment of Russia are only Edom, Moab, and Ammon. These countries are located on the east side of the Jordan River, and today they compose the modern nation of Jordan. Ammon is the capital of Jordan, or Amman is the capital of Jordan. and it gets its name from the ancient nation of Am. Why will Jordan escape from Russia's hands? There are several reasons. She is not a very rich country. She has no oil fields and very few minerals. Moreover, Jordan has no real strategic military value. She is a landlocked country and has very little coastline. He shall stretch forth his hands also upon the countries, and the land of Egypt shall not escape. But he, Russia, shall have power over the treasures of gold and of silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt. And the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. Although Jordan escapes the cruel hand of Russia, Egypt will not escape, and the remainder of the Muslim countries will fall like dominoes under the Russian bear hug. Why is it that Daniel singles out the Muslim countries of Egypt, or the Muslim country of Egypt? Man, excuse me. The heart and nerve center of the Arab world is Egypt. She has the largest Arab-speaking population, over 40 million people. Anyone that has a little knowledge of geography and history will recognize the fact that any Russian control of the Middle East would be predicated on the domination of Egypt. When Egypt falls to the Russians, they will have complete control of the economy, commerce, and destiny of Egypt. The economy of the country is a people's lifeline. Daniel says that he, Russia, shall have power over the treasures of gold and silver and over all the precious things of Egypt. Furthermore, Daniel singles Egypt out for complete conquest because Russia will have a vital need for the Egyptian harbors and the Suez Canal. The Suez Canal has great economic and military value. It connects the three great continents of Europe, Africa, and Asia. Russia will be in a strategic advantageous position to stop and stangulate the oiled windpipe. I think it's supposed to be strangulate. Advantageous position and stop and strangulate the oil windpipe of the Western Europe. Let's see, stangulate. 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 Stang. Let's try it. I think it's strangulate. I think that's what it's supposed to be. Strangulation. Yeah, strangulate. To become constricted so as to stop circulation. To strangulate. But it says strangulate, but I think it's supposed to be strangulate. Russia will be in a strategic and advantageous position to stop and strangulate the oil windpipe of Western Europe. And the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps. Considering the pertinent prophecies, history, and current events, I believe that this quotation about Libya and Ethiopia means that most African states will become socialist or will maintain close ties with the Soviet Union. As I have mentioned earlier, two key African states have already joined the Soviet camp. They are Angola and Ethiopia. When you look at the map of Africa, you can realize that the important geographical position of Ethiopia. In order for ships to enter into the Suez Canal and the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean, let's see. Pull this book my son's always always looking at. Reader's Digest Atlas of the World. Let's see if we can find it. Right quick. Let's see if we can find it. Ooh, okay. That's not the one I want, but Spain, Portugal, Italy, Soviet Union. All right. Nope, this not needed. It's a good one to show Jordan. I don't know if y'all be able to see it. Where is Jordan? I just saw it. Here. Yeah, right here. Jordan. All right, let's see. Ethiopia, India, Pakistan. All right. But that's a big one right here. That's better. All right, let's see what he says again. What did he say again? The Libyans and Ethiopians. Libya at the top. Libya at the top. The Libyans and the Ethiopians. My bad, that's Sudan. My bad. Ethiopians. So if they get control of Ethiopia, they got that area right here. And then if Libya helps them, they got control in here, or they can have some type of control in there. And the Libyans and the Ethiopians shall be at his steps, considering the pertinent prophecies, history, and current events. I believe that this quotation about Libya and Ethiopia means that most African states will become socialist or will maintain close ties with the Soviet Union. As I have mentioned earlier, two key African states have already joined the Soviet camp. They are Angola and Ethiopia. Where is Angola? They are Angola. That's Somalia, Ethiopia. There we go. Angola. Damn, one on each side. Angola is on one side. Angola is on this side. Ethiopia on this side. When you look at the map of Africa, you can realize the important geographical position of Ethiopia. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Djibouti, man. In order for ships to enter into the Suez Canal via the Red Sea from the Indian Ocean, they must first enter through the Straits of Bar el-Mandeb. This narrow waterway separates South Yemen from Ethiopia. Man, I wish I could zoom it in, man. It even says it, Bar el-Mandeb. So you got to come here to get in there, baby. Woo! Yeah, you got to get through Ethiopia and Yemen first, baby. If you want to go the other way, you have to go through the Straits of Gibraltar. I'll leave it open right quick. All right. Leave it open. The narrow waterway separates South Yemen from Ethiopia. The unfriendly ships could be prevented here from entering the Suez Canal by Russian or Ethiopian armed forces. Yeah. Ooh-wee. Moreover, the Soviet-backed government in Angola, Southwest Africa, on the other side, could permit the Russians to construct a naval base in that country. If this happens, the Soviets would be in a beneficial position to prevent the shipping of oil around the Cape of Good Hope and to the export of vital minerals from the racist South Africa to Europe and the United States. Man, watch for more Russian activity in the Middle East and Africa. At this writing, South Yemen, a country of southern Arabia, has already fallen under communist rule. Man, already? But remember, after the Arab African bloc attacks the state of Israel, the Russians will initiate a massive land, sea, and air attack against the state of Israel in order to exploit the wealth of the country. Obviously, this move is intended to make the Arabs look favorable on the Russians. But as time passes, the probability is that the Russians will double cross the Arabs and become the new imperial masters of the Middle East. But tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. Therefore he, Russia, shall go forth with great fury to destroy and take away many. At this time, the Russian military commander receives a communique that the Oriental or Yellow races are mobilizing forces in the Far East. China has a population of over 1 billion people and an army of 200 million troops. As the Russian forces are entrenched in the Middle East, they also hear unfavorable news from the north. By the north, here Daniel is referring to the power bloc that is located in Northwest Europe and known as the Northern Atlantic Treaty Organization. Notice the word north in this European organization. The European Economic Community, or the Common Market, is the classical name for the 10 non-communist European nations. These 10 nations are Belgium, Denmark, France, West Germany, Ireland, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, and Greece. These 10 nations represent the 10 toes or 10 horns spoken by Daniel in Daniel 2 and 41 and 7 and 7. The common market nations are nothing but the revival of the ancient Roman Empire. They have already moved in the direction of the common economy. the common monetary system, the common immigration and passports, and they are moving rapidly towards a common political system, including coordination of military forces because of the weakness of the United States. The Western Europeans are moving towards integration and unification of their various nations in order to be strong enough to meet the Soviet challenge. It is no doubt that Germany, with a gross national product of over 700 billion, will play the major role in the new European empire. Let's read that part again. It is no doubt that Germany, with a gross national product of over 700 billion, will play the major role in this new European empire. And the total common market gross national product is around 2,000 billion. Man. And the total common market gross national product is around 2,000 billion. Man. 700. So there's 10 of them. 700 go to just to Germany. And 13 go to everybody else. 1,300 go to everybody else. I wonder how much more is distributed. This is a lot of economic and military power needed in order to be prepared to meet the Russians in the Middle East. We must not forget that although man has his terrestrial and greedy purpose for waging war, the Creator God has his master plan designed in advance for all humanity. One of his purposes is to bring the wicked nations together for judgment and destruction in the war of Armageddon, or the war of Jehoshaphat. This word means the judgment of the Lord. In Joel 3:3, the prophet gives two principal reasons why the Creator God shall bring the armies of the nations into World War III to meet the destruction. Let's see. Joel 3:3. The book of Joel. 3:3. The book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold the girl for wine, that they may drink. Yea. I'm going to start at verse 1. Joel chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days, and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them for my people, and for my heritage Israel. Come on. Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Come on. Come on, man. Come on. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all of the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried it into your temples, my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to the people far off, for the Lord had spoken it. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and prune and your pruning hooks. No, I need that. I need that. I don't want you to put it back. I need that. And your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The vats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall fall, and the stars shall withdraw from their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. Woo! Sound like some danger. Danger, man. Danger. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Yeah, it's danger, baby. The prophet gives two principal reasons why the God, Creator God, shall bring the armies of the nations into World War III to meet their destruction. First of all, they have scattered and dispersed the original Black Hebrew Israelites among the nations into captivity and slavery. Second of all, the nations have parted and divided the land of Israel for their own gain. According to some interpretations of the book of Daniel, chapter 11, verse 39 through 45, the leader of the common market nations, hey! Watch what you're doing, my boy. Bring it here. Bring it here. Bring it here. Bring it here. What I tell you to do. Thank you. Stop playing. You understand? You can come over here if you want. You can stop playing. Come on. Come on. Let's go. All right, let's finish reading. Yeah, the sun is shining. Second of all, the nations have parted or divided the land of Israel for their own gain. According to some interpretations of the book of Daniel, chapter 11, verse 39 through 45, the leader of the common market nations will portion the land of Israel in the not too distant future. This act will spark World War III. And the Arab African bloc will attack the state of Israel. 14th verse. The world is divided into four main power blocks. And this is confirmed in Daniel 11, chapter 40, verse 45. Number one, the king of the south, the Arab African bloc. Number two, the king of the north, Russia and her satellites. Number three, the east, China and her satellites. And number four, the north and northwestern Europe, including the United States, Canada, and all the white Christian nations that derived from Europe. No, sir, we're about to flip the page. Now, let me return to the central point in order to continue the dramatic events with the Russian occupation of the Middle East. No, we on this page right here. On this one. This one right here. This one. This one. No, sir, we're not on that one. Yes, sir, we're on that one right there. Good job. In the 44th verse of the book of Daniel, we learn that the Russian army commander hears the bad news that the Chinese and the European common market, hey, calm down. Chinese, what I told you? Huh? What I told you? What I told you? What I told you? Did I tell you to calm down? I did tell you to calm down. Calm down. Sit so we can read. All right? And daddy gonna soon be done. You have to take that hat off your head as well. Matter of fact, let's put it over there. All the armies of the nations of mankind are brought down by the Creator God to the inferno of the Middle East. In Joel chapter 3, verse 14, it says, multitudes in the valley of decision. It appears to me that we have some issues. We don't have any issues? Okay, good. I don't want to have any issues. All I need you to do is calm down. Calm down, listen to Daddy read. Or you can sit over there. But you're going to have to calm down. So which is it going to be? Huh? Which is it going to be? Because I'm going to make the decision for you. And you might not like what I decide. So you're going to sit here calmly, or you're going to sit over there calmly? Which one? Okay, go ahead then. Watch my heater and close that thing. Close that. Fix it. So the hot. There you go. Good job. Thank you. Thank you very much. Don't put that on your head while I'm reading. You going back in the front? Okay, let me put it on your head then. Watch my heater. Go back down that way. Come on. No, that's what you want. Bomb. I don't get nothing. I don't get nothing. You don't give me nothing. You ain't gonna hit me with the bomb. You gonna leave me hanging. I see. I'm gonna remember that. Thank you. Mom. Thank you, my mom. Make sure you fix it when you leave. You can go in the room. Thank you. Multitudes in the valley of decision. It appears to me, by my analysis of the prophecies, that Armageddon is not a 1 day or 1 month affair, but a series of events extending over years with the destruction of certain power blocks, then following by a cause of hostilities, then again followed by the resumption of international conflict with terrible slaughter. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about. And when they shall be in the siege both against Judah and Jerusalem in that day, I will make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered against it. Zechariah chapter 12, verse 2, and chapter 14, verse 2. In the 44th verse, we learn that the Russian prepared themselves to fight with great fury against the Chinese. Okay, boy. Okay, I got you. Excuse me right quick. DJ done? Let's go get it. Come on. Excuse me. Man. In the 44th verse, we learn that the Russians prepare themselves to fight with great fury against the Chinese and the Western European nations. Many of the battles take place in the Middle East and around Jerusalem. And he, Russia, shall plant the tabernacles of his palace, his headquarters, between the seas and the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. Daniel chapter 11, verse 45. Evidently, the Russians shall move their forces and headquarters from North Africa, see Daniel chapter 43, to the glorious holy mountain of Mount Zion in Jerusalem, which is between the Mediterranean and Dead Sea. I'll keep it. Which is in the Mediterranean and Dead Sea. The northern power, Russia, whom Ezekiel called Gog and Magog in chapters 38 and 39, will meet his complete destruction. The Creator God uses the Chinese and Western Europeans to unleash weapons of terrible devastation on the Russians. These weapons are supersonic jets firing missiles, surface-to-air missiles, submarine Polaris missiles, and intercontinental ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads. Some of these warheads pack more than 1 million tons of TNT. This is the manner in which the prophet Ezekiel described the destruction of the Lord. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood. And I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon many people that are with him. And overflowing rain, and great hailstones, fire and brimstones in Ezekiel chapter 38 and 22. By pestilence, the prophet obviously means massive, horrible deaths by nerve gas, germ warfare, and nuclear radiation. We need to examine the phrase, rain upon him, and an overflowing rain, and great hailstones, fire, and brimstones. I doubt that the Creator God is referring to natural rain and hailstones. These natural elements could hurt the modern war machine very little. Evidently, the prophet meant that the Creator would rain down rapid, massive firing missiles and other weapons of destruction by fire. The missiles and bombs seemed to the prophet like hailstones and brimstone, balls of fire falling out of the heaven. The prophet had to use words that he knew in his day. 2,000 years ago, tanks, supersonic jets, and missiles were unheard of. I will send a fire on Magog, and among them that dwell carelessly in the isles, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Ezekiel chapter 39, verse 6. The word isles refers to distant islands and continents across the seas and oceans. Before the Russians are utterly destroyed, they will get an opportunity to fire their missiles at other nations in the Americas, Europe, Asia, and Africa. In some nations across the seas, the people dwell carelessly. That is, they think that they are secure and live a life of ease. Excuse me. Whew. Excuse me. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will give unto Gog a place there of graves in Israel, the valley of the passengers on the east of the sea. And it shall stop the noises of the passengers, and there shall they bury Gog and all his multitude. And they shall call it the valley of Hamongog. And 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, that they may cleanse the land. Ezekiel chapter 39. 7 months, it says. 7 months they're going to be burying them. Ezekiel chapter 39, verses 11 through 16. Although Russia has to be finished as a world power, Armageddon will not be over. It looks like there will be a lull between the next storm. It seems highly likely that the next phase of the Armageddon conflict will be waged between Western Europe, the Western European Empire, and China. And at that time, said Michael, stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was seen. Such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. The theme of this verse is a time of great trouble. The historians know that all wars and international conflicts are interrelated. The conditions in the world after World War I contributed to World War II, and the conditions in the world after World War II will contribute to World War III. It is a chain reaction. Man's inhumanity to man, greed, selfishness, arrogance, disregard for human life, and lack of understanding, compassion, and mercy. There is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. Hosea chapter 4 and 1 will lead all mankind down the road to complete annihilation. We have now approached the brink of Armageddon. And when it comes, nations will slaughter one another on land, on sea, and in air with maniacal fury. The gruesome weapons that man have created are capable of disseminating the planet. You gotta go pee pee? All right, hold on, let me finish this. The gruesome weapons that man have created are capable of disseminating the planet Earth more than 5 times. Here are some examples of the terrible weapons, and I'll read them when I get back. Excuse me. Come on, let's go pee pee. All right, let's go. Let's go. Take your hat off. Come here. You gotta take your hat off. All right. Let's get back to it. Here are some examples of the terrible weapons. Number one, earthquake stimulation. Mankind has discovered a new way of destroying millions of people. The new technique is accomplished by stimulating earthquake belts. Number two, chemicals. There are incendiary weapons that produce chemical horrors generating or radiating thermal energy similar to that of the atomic bomb. Number three, sound reproduction or sound waves. I definitely have seen them. Definitely know about the earthquake stuff. Sound reproduction or sound waves. Experimentation has shown that human beings can be totally disoriented by unheard infrasound. In these experiments, or if these experiments are perfected, sound waves may be the new weapon for the dissemination of mankind. Number four, nerve gas. Small amounts of nerve gas, for example, sarin or VX gas, can wreak unbelievable destruction on unsuspecting millions of people. I am informed that just one canister of the cardinal potency gas is capable of destroying almost 2 billion lives. Damn. One canister. Number five, the neutron bomb. Dissimilar from the H bomb, the neutron bomb has the capacity to produce a flood of deadly radiation with no destruction to inanimate objects such as superstructures. The production of these weapons is already complete, and they are agents of silent death. Number six, germ warfare. The destruction of entire populations by biological agents such as tularemia, anthrax, melioidosis, brucellosis, and Q fever is so highly dangerous that less than 12 ounces of properly disseminated could destroy all humanity. You know about anthrax. Remember when I was getting deployed, my first deployment, we had to take that anthrax. No, yeah, it was the anthrax shot. I think it was the first deployment. No, the second deployment. The second deployment, we had to take the anthrax shot. Didn't want to take it, but couldn't get out of that shit. The major powers of the earth have constructed a ring of nuclear destruction around the world. These powers are the Soviet Union, the United States, France, Great Britain, China, and India. There are some smaller nations believed to have the bomb or the reactors or the potential for making them. Many countries fear that these awful weapons might fall into the hands of terrorist groups who would use them to blackmail any nation into capitulation. We are all sitting on the time bomb of destruction, and we have no one to blame but ourselves. We are guilty because we have permitted evil to exist in the world and in our neighborhoods. We have turned the other way. Instead of speaking out, that's when people say to each his own. To each his own. Nah, my boss. We have turned the other way. Instead of speaking out, and we shall reap the bitter fruit of our unjust doings. Here are some statements the world leaders and scholars about the survival of mankind. Former French president, Valéry Giscard d'Estaing. The world is unhappy. Unhappy because it does not know where it is going and because it guesses that it is going towards a catastrophe. Bertrand Russell. Never since human beings first existed have they been faced with so great a danger as that which they have brought upon themselves by a combination of unrivaled skill and unrivaled folly. Dr. Herbert York. The arms race is a steady open spiral downward towards oblivion. Dr. Robert Herbroner. Nobody is equipped to deal with problems that are rushing in on us, from inflation to nuclear weapons. Douglas MacArthur. We have had our last chance. If we will not devise some greater and more equitable system, Armageddon will be at the door. Henry Kissinger. The Western world seems to be floating without power or rudder on a sea filled with destructive events. Albert Einstein. There is no defense in science against a weapon that can destroy civilization. We have received the warnings from world leaders and ancient prophets. Listen to what Jeremiah the prophet said for our day. The noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for the Lord has the controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked the sword, destruction, saith the Lord. Thus said the Lord of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day in this generation, from one end of the earth even to the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered, nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. Jeremiah 25, 33 through 31 through 33. The evil that would go forth from nation to nation is nothing but savage warfare among nations. Moreover, the slain from the nuclear catastrophe will be from one end of the earth to the other, and there will be very few people around to mourn or to bury the dead bodies, and the corpses shall be stinking on the surface of the earth. This is how the Creator judges the wicked nations. He removeth kings, presidents, and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. Daniel chapter 2, verse 21. During the time of this great catastrophe shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and the righteous Gentiles. He added that. And the righteous Gentiles. And at this time shall the righteous be delivered. Daniel said that at this time of the end, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. The phrase run to and fro means that there will be massive, rapid transportation from one place to another, and knowledge shall increase. This means that there will be many technological advancements. You see, we are living in the time that Daniel was talking about. We have reached the moon, and the space shuttle Columbia circles the Earth over 30 times. Knowledge shall increase. One reporter asked the woman, "What do you think of the launching of the Columbia?" She replied, "It's great. I'm proud of America." What is there to be proud of? Thousands are facing starvation around the world. South Africa is on the verge of a racial explosion. And all that the president can say is that we will trade with South Africa, but we do not endorse her racial policies. White Catholics and Protestants are fighting one another with a passion. You cannot walk the streets in safety in America with blacks killing blacks, whites killing whites, and blacks and whites killing each other. And 4 people, including the president, are shot in Washington, D.C. What is there to be proud of? Again, I shall repeat, we are living in the time that Daniel wrote about. Many shall be purified and made white, made righteous, and tried. But the wicked shall do wickedly. None of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Many of the wicked who will read my book will not understand it, but they will do 10 times more wickedly than before their previous deeds. But the wise and righteous will understand. But the wise and righteous will understand. Salvation is of the Jews. There are numerous indications throughout the entire Bible to support the fact that salvation comes through the Jews. This is the vision that Isaiah, the prophet, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountains of the Lord, the mountain of the Lord's house, shall be established in the top of the mountains. This refers to the temple that would be erected on Mount Zion. It shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach of his ways, and he will walk, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall beat their swords into plowshares. This means that the nations shall convert their weapons into agricultural tools, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nations shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Isaiah chapter 2, verses 1 through 4. Finally, peace shall come to the earth after the Messiah, the Savior, is sent by the Creator God to save our world from complete destruction. Yes, many people in strong nations shall come to seek the Lord of hosts in Jerusalem and to pray before the Lord. Thus said the Lord of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, We will go with you, for we have heard that God is with you. After Armageddon, 10 men from various nations. The number 10 refers to the respective group. Shall go up to Jerusalem in order to follow the Jews for guidance. All the nations and races are accepted and permitted in the house of God, as it is written. Also, the son of strangers shall join themselves to the Lord, to serve him and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants. Everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and taketh hold of my covenant. Isaiah chapter 56, verse 6. And the great tribulation and the war of Armageddon, mankind will not learn war, nor will he attack one another, but all people in various races will go up to Jerusalem to learn the ways of God, which are just for everybody. The Israelites will play a major role in teaching the laws of God, and the various races will be there. In the various races, there will be no slavery, no persecution, no race prejudice. All people will be received with open arms, with sincere love and brotherhood. Peace at last, peace at last. Woo. And that was the Valley of the Dry Bones. Now I got some, I definitely have. It will be peace. Look. But I don't know about the slavery thing. He said it won't be no slavery. But this verse right here tells me it's going to be some slavery, or what it seems like slavery. Also, the son of strangers shall join themselves to the Lord, to serve him and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants, everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it. Also, there's a verse that he that taketh into slavery shall go into slavery. Let's see. There's going to be some slavery. It's going to be some slavery. Captivity. I want to say it's in Revelations. Let me make sure. He that taketh into captivity shall go into captivity. I don't remember it off the top of my head. Captivity. Revelations 13:10. I knew it was in Revelations. The book of Revelations, chapter 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Ooh, sound like some slavery to me. But hey, we'll see. But that was The Valley of the Dry Bones by Dr. Rudolphf R.WINDSOR. Definitely some good stuff in there. A lot of historical stuff, that's why I pulled out the other books and maps so we can look at some of the things that they're talking about. Try to put ourselves in them places and see what's what. See if we can maybe get a better picture of what's going on. Yeah. But man, thank everybody. Thank y'all for sticking with another edition of Reading with Shilo, man. We finished another book. Down. Valley of the Dry Bones. Down. Next book on the list. Next book on the list we'll start reading is Barak and Deborah United. This one is from Dr. Rudolphf R. WINDSOR, another Rudolphf R. WINDSOR book, and his wife, Mary L. WINDSOR. Let's see. Palestine, 1125 BCE. Barak and Deborah United is a story about an alliance between Prince Barak and the beautiful Deborah. They both yearn to see their people free from the Canaanite oppression. She is a priestess who projects herself in the man's world and inspires her people to achieve spiritual greatness. Barak is a handsome prince, a mountain fighter engaged in bringing criminals to justice, and pursues Deborah. Also, Barak instructs his soldiers how to be good husbands and fathers. Deborah thinks she has found the man of her dreams. Prince Barak, only to find out that she is bound by her people's customs to marry a man who she does not love. When Barak finds out that Deborah is planning to marry another man she is not in love with, he is furious, but he does not give up in his desire to win her love. Shit, I don't know if I want to read this. We're probably going to go ahead and read it and just get it out of the way. What else could I read right now? Let me finish it. Mary L. WINDSOR has been studying fictional writings for the past 17 years. She received her BS degree. In business from Indiana University, MBA from Indiana Wesleyan University, and her BS degree in spiritual counseling from the University of Metaphysics. She is currently the president of Atlanta graduate chapter of Gamma Phi Delta Sorority Incorporated. She enjoys working on her humanitarian projects. Dr. Rudolphf R. WINDSOR is an internationally known author. He is an author of 5 books on Black history and the Hebrews, and has appeared on radio and television. Rudolphf has a doctorate in metaphysical philosophy. Mr. WINDSOR is a strong advocate of the social upliftment of our society, and he holds that we can change our world if we exert love, patience, and willpower. We might read it, man. We might read it. We might read it. Hey, we might read it. It might surprise me. It might surprise me. Let me see. Other books by Dr. Rudolph R. Windsor. From Babylon to Timbuktu, I have that. The Valley of the Dry Bones, which you just read. Judea Trembles Under Rome. I might have to get that one. When is the Next War? I might have to get that one too. And Deborah and Barak, which we have right here. So that'll be the next one on the list. I think. Oh man. Shoot, I kind of wanted to read this one. This is the book of Jasher. I have not read it, but I wanted to read it. So it's going to be a toss-up. Fuck, man. I'll read Barak. I'll read that. And then the next one will be the book of Jasher. We'll start there. I have some more books coming, but they won't be here until next week. But until they get here, we can probably try to mash through this one. Trying to see how many chapters it has. 21, 22. We could read a couple of chapters a day. And get it out the way. Has 25 chapters. 25 chapters, 314 pages. Man, that's a lot for me, baby. That's a lot. But we'll see. I think I just want to read it to go ahead and get it out the way. Just to get out the way so I can say I read it. Yeah. But that's it, man. Appreciate everybody for sticking with me for this edition of Reading with Shilo. We'll go ahead and put the bookmark in Barak and Deborah United. Barak and Deborah United. This was copywritten in 2011. And this one will be the next one on the list. It says, within these pages, there is an important message for our generation. The need for excellent leadership is paramount in our neighborhoods. However, in order to acquire this good leadership, certain qualities are essential, such as love and service. These are the words of Dr. Cornel West and Tavis Smiley. Because of the terrible situations that face our nation and our people today, great leaders must display a lot of love, dedication, and service. This means that the would-be good leaders must come down off the ivory towers and get their feet muddy and scarred in the battlefield of life if we will really intend to reduce improper guidance, poverty, crime, and ignorance among our youth. It is too dangerous to wait for others to solve our problems. The responsibility dissolves upon us. This book helps to point us in the direction of how this can be accomplished. That sounds better. That sounds like something I would want to read. All right, yeah. But hey, man, shalom. Thank you. That's it. That's it. Reading with Shilo. Another book down. We out of there, baby. We out of there. We out of there. Till next time, baby. I hope y'all have a wonderful day.